Greetings, welcome, and good day. You are now tuned into the 8th episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. I'm so happy you can make it to another chapter of this show. This week we're joined by an enlisted engineer turned Navy nurse. Like many, Jay enlisted in the Navy straight out of high school. Like many, she thought she would only be around for one enlistment. Like many, she's making rank and sticking around to make a career out of it. One of the first lessons Jay had to learn was to stand up for herself in the face of an incompetent, negligent, and you guessed it, racist chain of command. And now, after 13 years of service, she shares this and many other lessons with her subordinates, or her children, as she lovingly refers to them. When I showed up to Jay's house for this interview, she was dressed to the nines and had a face that was beat to the gods. This is one of those times I really hate that I didn't get a picture of the guest to post to the video. Jay is a diva, a treat, and a doll. And that's why I named this episode, This Barbie is a Nurse. Friend!
Hi.
Hey, how's it going now?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, very well. Top of the morning to you.
Good morning.
What a way to start the day, huh?
Yes. Yes. I don't even think the sun is all the way up. But we're up.
Look, it's up enough.
It's up enough.
In the words of the great Cardi B.
If it's up, then it's stuck.
Thank you. So, I think you told me to refer to you as Jay. Mm-hmm. All right, Jay. Jay.
Yes.
What is your connection to the service?
Military brat. So, my grandfather served. My dad served. All three of his sisters served. And my stepdad serves. So, naturally, one of the grandkids or third generation is going to serve. So,
gee whiz,
yeah.
You got a legacy on you.
Yeah, a little bit.
So were you all in the same branch, or y'all?
No, my grandfather, he was in the Navy. My dad was in the Navy. My two aunts was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And my stepdad is in the Army.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, so like no Coast Guard?
No Coast Guard. We all decided we wanted to go to the actual military.
Wow. In my face.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you know what? I have Coast Guard listeners, and they're only going to beat me up for that one. Right. So you safe.
It's okay. Y'all tried. Y'all tried it.
We are doing the best we can, okay?
It was like, oh, it's like I want to go to the military, but not really. Like, that's what it is. It's like y'all giving it a test run on the outside, whether y'all really want to get in.
I'm going to get beat up so hard for this one. They like, you're not even trying to defend us. No, I'm not. All right. If you don't mind, how long have you been in the service?
This November will be 13 years.
Get it. Come on, rank.
Headed towards retirement.
Get it. So you're staying in the full 30 or the full 20?
That depends on this year, actually. So I'm submitting for the NCP program, which is a nurse commissioning program. And if I get accepted, I just finished my degree. So if I get accepted, then I'll be suspending my enlisted time. And then I'll be finishing school for 18 months. Then officer development school for 5 weeks. And then I'll commission in 2025. And from there, I have to commit 10 years. And if I decide to do more, then I'll do more. But we'll see. So right now, my future is looking like at least 23 years.
Come on, girl. Yeah. You better get it. An educated sister. Come on, degree. Yes. Since you got your degree, yes. And you know everything. Come on. Love it. I love to see it. The next question is, was this branch your first choice?
It was not.
Oh, now what?
No, Air Force was actually my first choice.
All right.
Yeah, so I've always wanted to do Air Force just because I'm not a big fan of water, and it's not because I'm a black woman or a cliche. It's just honestly,
did you call yourself a black?
I mean, I'm just not the black cliche. I mean, now that I know how to swim, I love to swim. It's just at the time I just really didn't know how to swim, so the idea of being in an ocean scares the hell out of me. Actually, my worst fear is spiders and whales. Okay. Don't ask me why. It's just...
No, those are legitimate fears.
And
yeah.
Because it's just like, being in the water, like, it's some big-ass creatures in there. And then a lot of the fucking sea, we don't even know what's in it. Like, I think it's like only, 90% of the ocean hasn't been discovered yet or some shit like that. So, we don't know what's in the damn water. It's like, what if I fall in? Like, we don't know what might get me. So, it was just like, I ain't fucking with the water. Well, it's not that we're fucking with water because I love a pool. I ain't fucking with the ocean and the sea, and I'm not doing that. But, Air Force at the time was overmanned in 2009, and when I tried to join, they was like, oh, you can join, but there's going to be a 9-month wait before you can go to boot camp. And I was just like, no. And then Navy desk literally right next door, he hear it. And then he's like, oh, we can get you in like 2 months. So I was like, well, the Navy was my second choice. So here I am, Navy.
It is so weird that you would say that.
Yeah.
There was a branch of service that was overmanned.
Yeah.
I bet they regret that now.
Yeah.
They letting people just walk in.
Like in with anything. Like I know somebody, I think somebody made like a 14 or something.
Jesus.
And they let them in.
They were like, you're actually too smart. Let's get it.
It's just like, even now, me being in the position I'm in now, and these new sailors are coming in 20. I think anybody joining at 2019 is suspect. Because I was like, there's no way. How did you even get in? I meet these sailors and we have a introduction and we're talking and I'm just like,
anybody. They let anybody in.
They really, like, I don't know if this person know how to walk and chew gum. It's like, I don't know.
Look, we down bad. All branches.
It really
we down bad.
But I think what it is because these kids, a lot of these are COVID kids. You know, they graduated around COVID or whatever.
You right.
That was their time to grow up. They missed their opportunity to step into adulthood because the world got shut down.
Oh.
And now they're in the real world and, you know, military provides security and financial stability and stuff like that. So then they're just joining, not knowing what they're getting themselves into.
Right.
Spoiled as hell. And it's like, you want me to be at work at 7? Oh my God. Like, it's so, like, it's almost impossible. Like, motherfucking no. I get up at 4:30. It's not, I gotta be here at 6:30. Like, you got it. You can make it.
That's because you got rank. Like, they don't have rank. Why?
But that's why we got you at 7. They was like, no.
You was somebody. That's why you showing up to work early.
And it was like, hey, just show up on time. Just sit here and be available when I need you. Be in the right uniform. That's all I'm asking you to do.
The bare minimum.
That's too much, ABF1. Like, I'm going to show up in the wrong uniform. It's going to be dirty. I'm going to be late. And then I got to cry about it. I was like, okay. Sure. Do you?
Look, and that's why you day later. So you can get them in shape.
I would just get rid of at least 60%.
Wow.
I had
She said over half, huh?
Hell yeah, over half. Hell yeah, most definitely. Maybe more than 60.
2/3 of y'all gotta go.
A lot of y'all gotta really go. A lot of y'all really gotta go.
Okay, ABF1. Thank you for that answer. How do you feel about your time in uniform so far? Does any particular time period stand out to you?
There has definitely been more good times than bad in my time in uniform. I think what stands out most to me was the beginning of my career. Because at the time, I was a 17-year-old Mississippi girl, country, don't know nothing about the world. I'm not of the world at all. I was a wholesome little teenage girl. I think I was like 98 pounds when I joined. And my ass was like, when I leave home, I'm leaving home. For one, my mom didn't believe I wanted to join the military. She didn't think I was leaving because me and my mom was the closest growing up. And she just didn't think that I was going to go. But I was dead serious about going. And so when I did get accepted and I did go to boot camp and everything, she didn't think I would stay so far away. Because my school was in Florida, which was Pensacola, Florida, which was only like a 2-hour drive from Mississippi. 2 and some change, almost 3.
Yeah.
So she was just like, you know, I'm close. She came and visited me almost every weekend, or I went home every weekend or whatever. But then when I told her I got orders to Japan, she just... I don't know. I think she was in denial a little bit because I don't know if she kept thinking that it was going to change or whatever, but I got hard copies. Like, it's official stamp on it. I'm going to Japan. And she just didn't want to accept it and sat down on the plane. And I took that 26-hour flight over there.
Lord.
And I'm happy and I'm excited. And I keep telling her, you know, it's going to be okay. I'm going to come home all the time, blah, 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 blah. Until I landed there. That first week was tough for me because time difference, like that disconnect. I'm 17 years old. I don't know nothing of the world. Half the people over there don't speak English. I don't know anybody over there. I don't have friends yet. So I was terrified. I cried. For like the first 3 months, I was trying to do anything and everything I could to get back home. They were just like, we just can't just send you back home. That's not how that works. I felt like nobody over there back then in that Navy in 2011, they didn't give a fuck about your feelings. Like, no. Like, there was none of what they do, that hand-holding shit now. They don't do none of that shit back then. So, basically, they just told me to suck that shit up. Like, you're gonna be all right. You'll adapt soon enough. And I'm just like, I felt so just not heard. I just wanted to go home. Like, I just really wanted to go home. But I started making friends. Mm-hmm. I started to develop a life, develop a routine. Mm-hmm. And before I knew it, I only had 3 years orders over there, but I OTEP to extend over there because I did not want to leave.
What?
Yeah, I wanted to stay. I ended up doing a little bit over 4 years in Japan.
You got there and liked it.
I did. I loved it. I learned to snowboard over there. Black people don't snowboard, but I was snowboarding every weekend. We was going camping and shit.
You went camping?
Yeah, I climbed Mount Fuji twice.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. That's my little Mount Fuji stick over there.
Get it.
Yeah, so it was definitely a time of learning and developing my own independence. And I was so afraid to do that, to step into my adulthood and like defend myself, because I've always had my mom. Always had my mom. And I had to learn to be without her. And I had to learn to stand on my own 2 feet. And me joining the Navy, my first tour definitely taught me that. Taught me that. So I'm grateful for that.
I love this.
Yes.
That was a lot of growth.
It was a lot of growth. Trust me, it was a lot of growth. It was a lot.
They sent a 17-year-old to... What part of Japan? Was it Okinawa or Osaka?
I was in Yokosuka, Japan.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I traveled all over Japan. Now, Japan ain't no but this big. So I've been all over there. Catch a bullet train to almost anywhere. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
It's a good time.
Look, it sounds like you had a damn good time.
I did.
Come on, snowboarding.
Tokyo is a mess, y'all. Stay away from Roppongi. Listen, it don't mean you no good out there.
PSA.
Yeah, to let y'all know. All y'all new people coming in, like, oh, that shit sound fun. Stay away from Tokyo. Roppongi is, I'm telling you, y'all.
Is that the red light district? No, I'm kidding.
Nah, look, it might be considered over there. Yeah, sure. Vegas ain't got shit on Roppongi.
Okay, well, this place just sounds fun now.
No, trust me, it is not. Talking about the city never sleeps. That motherfucker really don't never shut down.
How do you think your experience in uniform could have been improved or can be improved?
I would say before it could have been improved if I was not so set on my ways of thinking. Like I said, I come from a very closed environment. All I knew was Mississippi. So my way of thinking, I was not used to the melting pot. I was not used to other people's ideas and opinions and how they see the world and where they come from and all of that. I just didn't understand that. It was just literally ignorance, just a lack of information. I think if I knew then what I know now, for one, my career development would have been a lot quicker. Because I've been in 13 years and I just put on first class.
Whoop, whoop, come on.
Like, according to Navy standards, that's tracking. But me, I've always been an overachiever and I've always wanted to be always ahead of the game. So for me, that took too long for me. But I think, like I said, it was my mindset at the time. It was just ignorance, just a lack of information. I didn't understand the concept of the melting pot. People coming from different walks of life, dealing with so many different personalities, so many different people, so many different ethnicities, all that good stuff. So it definitely slowed me down.
Not too much. Hell, you about to be a nurse.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Look.
True. That is true. Wait, I've always been resilient, though.
Okay.
I've always been resilient.
Come on, resilience.
So it's always a backup plan. The Navy shit was not moving fast enough for me, so I was like, okay, so if this shit don't work out, what am I going to do? So, yeah, I had that plan always in that. And then the Navy sent me to school for free, so perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Now, what was the question again?
How do you think your experience could be improved?
Oh, now. People at work say I'm combative. And they don't mean it as I'm argumentative or like I want a problem. What it is I don't like constructive criticism. And I don't. I really don't. I like for people, like, don't get me wrong. It's not that I can't follow. I can't be a part of the team. I most definitely can. I definitely can take somebody taking the role of a leader and me following them. That's no problem. Mm-hmm. I guess I don't like how certain things are communicated. Because at the end of the day, for one, I don't look my age. I can stand in a crowd of 19 to 24 and fit in, but I'm not 19 and I'm not 24. I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm 31 years old. And I think that's the problem. Most people meet me and they don't know. Like, they see my face and they associate it with a younger crowd she's a young girl that doesn't put on rank. And I'm like, no, I'm not a 23-year-old first class. Like, I've been here and I've been doing this just as long as you have. And I think they talk to me and sometimes treat me as if I'm a fucking child. And I need to learn to better handle myself in those types of situations. Because at that time, I don't give a fuck what rank you are. I'm going to tell you exactly what the fuck I feel, and you're going to listen, or we're not going to have this conversation. So they just be like, you just get way too offended so easily. And I was like, I think y'all soft as fuck. Like, you can sit here and tell me some shit, but when I say some shit, now I'm combative. Like, get the fuck out of here. So.
Also, she's right. She doesn't look her age, y'all. But also, this is a black lady show, and black don't crack. So,
right.
like, duh, this is like the norm. Of course, she doesn't look her age. That's normal.
Yes, exactly. That's the norm. For everybody outside of the black race, we don't,
We don't age like milk.
We don't. Shit, we like grits or something. It's never expired.
Tell me about a time when you experienced something, either good or bad, that you know to be unique to you because you are a black woman.
All right, so we're finna get a little deep.
Come on.
All right.
We can get it.
So my second command, right? So
outside of Japan.
Yep, did my tour in Japan. Now I'm back stateside, and I was actually back here in Norfolk, Virginia, which is another reason I really don't like this place.
Did you say Norfolk?
Norfolk.
Oh, okay.
Whatever it is. However y'all say it. I'm not a Virginian, so I don't know. But yeah, I was out with some friends one night. Well, I was going out to meet some friends one night in the ODU district, and we were going to this little hole in the wall, little small club. It was a small little setting. We'd been there before. Had a few drinks. It was a good little vibe. And I was meeting them there.
Hold on. ODU district is Old Dominion University district. Yeah. So like the college district here. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I was meeting them out there. At the time, I was 24, I want to say. Yeah, I was 24. I was pulling out. I was meeting them at the spot. These are all my military friends. And I go into the club, and I couldn't see them. So I couldn't find them. So I did the lap around the club maybe 2 or 3 times, called their phone, and no one was answering, so I decided I was just going to leave. I don't know where they at. They were already drunk when they called me, so I knew then it was going to be difficult. Because these are the type of friends, we were super young back then, and when we was drunk, we was just all over the place. We was just so irresponsible. So
there's no such thing as a responsible 20-year-old.
Yeah,
so
for real.
Yeah.
So I did my last lap, and then I was leaving the club, and I was headed back to my car. And I guess these 2 guys in the club saw me and saw I looked a little lost. So they decided to follow me to my car. Then they attacked me. And it was a sexual assault, but it wasn't the sexual act, or was it harassment? I don't really understand the difference between it. They tried to sexually assault me.
Okay.
But me being me, that shit was not finna fly. So I fought back or whatever, and I ended up getting away. I was one of the lucky ones to get away out of that situation. But in the midst of all that, I did suffer some serious injuries, especially to my face. I ended up going home. Well, actually, no, I ended up driving to a gas station after that, and then my friends did finally call me back. And at the time, they're calling me loud, happy, where you at, blah, 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 blah. And then they hear that I'm clearly upset. And so the one that I was talking to, he leaves the group and he comes to check on me. He sees me and my face is bloody and all this other shit. So he's like, what happened? And then I tell him what happened. And then he took me home. And then, he was kind of nursing my wounds. And he was like, you need to report this, blah, blah, blah. So I called the police. And Norfolk is so weird because where it happened, and I lived in Virginia Beach. When I called the police, it was the Virginia Beach police, and they told me I would have to drive back to Norfolk to make the report in Norfolk because it was out of the district. I don't know. It was so weird. And at this point, my face is leaking. I'm hurting. It's 2-something in the morning. I really don't want to go anywhere, but I'm not going to let this shit slide. And my friend was like, no, because their DNA still might be on you. You need to go report it. You don't need to sleep it off or whatever. So we got back in the car. We drove back to Norfolk. Went to the Walmart in the Norfolk area. And then I did my report there. But it was embarrassing enough being in front of Walmart and there's a cop swabbing my face and people walking
in front of the fucking Walmart.
Yeah, it was. I was just ready to go home. But that's not even the situation. My issue was with the Navy and how they handle it.
Okay.
Or my chain of command at the time and how they handled it. So after all that's done, he takes the report, he swabs my face and all that good stuff. He gives me a case number, he gives me a police report, blase, and then he goes on about his way. We go back home. My friend stays the night with me. The next morning I had to work. I think I had duty, and I told my friend, I was like, hey, obviously I'm not going to fucking duty. So at that time I was a third class. He was a second class. I was like, can you call up there and let them know that I'm not coming? I don't want you to give too much detail, but let them know that I will call them and I'll let them know what's going on with me later. But right now, like, I'm exhausted. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. My face hurts. Like, I just want to take some painkillers and I want to just crash. He's like, yeah, no problem, I got you. But mind you, he was drunk. He was drunk when he came to pick me up. So he passes out on my couch. And I take some shit that's going to knock me out. So the next morning, I wake up. He's still on the couch sleep.
Wow.
And my phone is like blowing up because everybody's looking for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I understand completely. And now, especially now as a supervisor, why they're worried, why they're blowing you up or whatever. So first thing I do is I call the ship and then I let them know, hey, I'm not coming in because I just went through something last night. I have a police report. I will send it over to you guys. But right now, I'm tired. My body is hurting. I'm just tired. And they was like, well, what happened? I was like, I really don't want to get into it over the phone. And I was like, but I will have, at the time I did tell my mom about it. I was like, I'll have my mom reach out. She can fill you in. But right now, I don't feel like talking about it. And so my mom, she did. She called the command and she told my immediate chain of command what happened. And they called me back and was like, you still need to come in. We need to see you. Mm-mm. So that really pissed me off. Yeah. Because now me too being a sexual assault prevention response coordinator myself, like I am now a separate victim advocate. Mm-hmm. That's the last thing you want to fucking do to somebody that's been through something like that.
Right.
Why would you make them come into work after they just told you what happened to them?
Right.
After they told you, hey, my face, all this stuff is like busted up. I don't want to come in. People looking at me a certain type of way and all of this shit. So it's like, well, you still need to come in. You need to make a report. You need to do this. You need to do that. Blah blah blah. And I said, I'll do all that when on my time when I'm ready. You can't make me. You can't tell me this is what I have to do. I don't have to do shit if I don't want to.
Right.
So either way, at the time I'm a little naive. I'm only 24. I'm just a third class. So I take my ass to the ship. Lips busted, nose is busted, black eyes, like scarred on my cheek. So I'm just like, I get up there, trying my best to hide my face, and then go into the office, and the first thing they ask me is, why wouldn't you call this in? Because you know we had to count you UA. And I'm just looking like,
wow,
motherfuckers, do you see my face? Are you okay? Be the first fucking thing that you say to me?
Right.
So immediately I was annoyed. So I just clammed up. I just don't talk. I just look at them. And they take that as, oh, she got an attitude. She's confrontational. Like, she has that black bitterness kind of thing. Because all of these were white people that I was working for at the time.
Sounds like it, yeah.
And so I just don't say anything to them at all. And then so at the time, they actually tried to like send me up to Mass.
Wow. Because
I didn't report anything, and I was UA for duty. Fucking
wow.
So after that situation happened, I asked them, could I go home? They said no. I can go to the berthing and go to sleep in my rack.
Wow.
So I did. At the time, like I said, I didn't know like how much power I really had, or that I didn't have to tolerate that at that time. I just was doing as my superior officer told me to do. So I go lay down in my rack, and then when I did get up later that day, I did report it. I went down to medical. I told them, hey, I didn't like physically, anything didn't happen to me, but I did get in a scuffle or whatever. They ripped my shirt, my top, and stuff like that. And so they said they wanted to do a rape kit on me anyway. It was just a waste of product at that point. Yeah. So we did the rape kit or whatever. Then I go down to security, and I'm giving my statement and everything. And then I told them I had a police report. I had barred it. So they said that at the time, there was nothing they can do about it until the civilian side was to close their case, because apparently you can't have 2 cases open at once about the same situation or something like that. So we had to wait till Norfolk Police did their investigation of it, closed the case, and then I can open up a new case with the Navy. But after that, I went to JAG, and that's the legal officer on board. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, I'm happy, because at this point, almost everybody in my command knew what happened to me. I'm now walking around with scars and stuff, so obviously people are coming up to me, asking me conversations and shit like that I really don't want to talk about and I don't want to have.
Your chain of command was trash.
Yeah, it's fuck. So obviously I know the only way you guys would know is if they said something.
Right.
So I went to my JAG and I was like, hey, look, something happened to me a few weeks ago, and because like maybe like 2 weeks has passed by now. And, you know, a lot of people on the ship knows about it, especially people in my job that I work with. They know about it. They're always asking me questions. It's making me very uncomfortable. And I don't want to be in that division anymore. I want to be moved to a different department, is what I asked them originally. And so they sat me down and they was like, go tell me everything that happened. So I go over it again, what happened from the assault to all the way up into that current time. Mm-hmm. And they said, ABF3, do you want to be here? I was like, what do you mean? They was like, if you don't, they said the way that whole situation was handled was completely wrong. And let me be the first to apologize. They was like, but do you know you have options? If you don't want to be here no more, you don't have to get switched to another department. You can leave, like, this command.
Right on.
And, like, soon. I was like, what do you mean? It was like, if you don't want to be here, you want to be around family or something. They said, we can send you to Mississippi.
Oh, my God.
What do you want to do? Yeah, we're like, what do you want to do? They like, have anybody not talked to you about it? I was like, I have no idea. It was like, do you even have a SAPper, victim advocate? I was like, no. They was like, do you know what that is? I was like, no. Wow. So they was like, wow. And they was like, okay, well, these are your options. We have counsel available for you. We have somebody to help you, walk you through this process, blah, 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 blah. So that day I got signed a SAPper victim advocate, who was great, by the way.
Right on. Good.
And then, and she was a white girl, but she was really good. And so,
hey, sometimes you run into a good one.
Right. And so then JAG was like, after talking with my victim advocate and all that good stuff, JAG was like, hey, you know, have you made a decision? Do you want to just switch to another department or do you want to leave the command? At the time, I really just wanted to be around my family. So I was like, I want to leave. And it was, okay, do you want to go to Mississippi? I said, no, I don't want to leave that bad. I love Mississippi, but no, thank you. So I was like, is there any way I could just be close to Mississippi? They was like, yeah. They was like, where are you thinking? They was like, this is your option. You can go to New Orleans. You can do this. You can do that. I thought about New Orleans, but I was like, nah, it's still too close to home. I was like, can I do Jacksonville, Florida? And everybody want to go to Jacksonville. So she was like, I think I can make that happen for you.
Right on.
So literally after the day I talked to Jack, 10 days later, I was in Jacksonville, moving to my new apartment. And fuck that whole command.
Right.
And that chain of command, but a lot of them got into a lot of trouble about how they handled it.
Good.
But again, like I said, I think it was my demeanor, and they had already made an opinion about me. So when I got into my situation and I came to them with it, they weren't concerned about my safety or my mentality at the time or anything like that. They was just like, oh, we finally got her on something. She don't show up for duty. She don't call. We're just like, how the fuck you gonna send somebody who just been through some shit like that?
Right.
Try to send them the mask for not showing up fucking duty. There's no sane person in the world is gonna grant you that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
These people are trash. All of them.
So,
everybody in your chain of command was garbage.
At that time, hell yeah. So yeah, after that situation, I became bitter towards the Navy a little bit.
For good reason.
Yeah, but just learning process, like I said, after I found out about all these different options and avenues that I had, I did my study on it. And I continued counseling for about a year after that. And it definitely made me a better person. It made me more knowledgeable.
Right on.
I wasn't as ignorant. The lack of information, that's one thing I tell my junior sellers all the time. Absorb as much information as you can, because the more you know, the more you grow. So
help was out there and you just didn't even know about it because no one
told me.
You didn't know what you didn't know. Like, and that was an unfair situation even be in. You didn't know that there was information being withheld from you.
Right.
Okay, and also, I'm going to say that it wasn't your demeanor, it was their demeanor.
Right.
It was them being garbage. Because when you go through a situation like that, fuck your demeanor. Fuck whatever, attitude they perceive you to be having at that time. What's more important is what you just went through.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fuck these people.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well, I hope they're all kicked out of the Navy. Trash-ass command. When you brought complaints to your chain of command, do you feel that you were heard?
Now they listen.
Good. They better fucking listen.
Their asses listen now.
Good.
But no, as a young black woman before, no, they don't really give you much opportunity or hope to hear that you're going to be heard at all, because it's the mission. It's always about the mission. It's always, their way. Your way doesn't really exist. And
They always say it's about the mission when it's pertaining to you.
Right. And to a certain degree, I understand what they mean because the Navy is like a certain standard or whatever, but however, like people are different. Yeah. Mindsets are different. Like even now with my junior sailors, I know I complain about them a lot. But I love them to death. All of them are like my babies, honestly. And they don't call me ABF1. Well, they do in the eyes of like, we got mixed company, obviously. Right. They're going to be respectful. But when it's just us, I'm Mama J. Like, they already know. And so, like, they my kids. They get on my nerves, but I love them to death. But I understand they're all different. And they have a different mindset. And some of them really they just want to know why they're doing the shit that we have to do. So I give them that platform to talk, give me their opinions, why they feel the way they feel. Like I said, it gives me an opportunity to understand them more and gives me an opportunity to be a better leader to them. Because some of my sailors, I can just say, hey, go do this, go knock this out, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say, copy that, ABF1 or mama or whatever. And they just going to go get it done. Easiest kids in the world. That's the 30 I would keep. That's the 30 I would keep. But the other ones, they like, listen, I know you having a tough day. I know you had to get out of bed and we made you drive here. I know you already aggravated. I could tell at mustard. I just need you to take care of this for me real quick. And then I'm going to put you on like an hour break. And then you just come back and check in with me. That way you can go get on your TikTok. You can go do whatever you need to do. And then you just come check back in with me in an hour. After you get this done, though. I was like, is that fair? Well, how do you want me to do it? Like, does it have to be all the way done, right? Or can I do half and then come back, do my hour, and then come back and do that? No, I need you to do the whole thing first. Because while you're on your hour break, I'm going to show Chief that it got accomplished. And I'm going to see if we can get up out of here early. But, yeah.
Come
you think
on.
You think you're gonna let us off? I was like, well, that depends on how good of a job you do. It's like I have to like coach, sit them down. Like some of them, I just have to have those conversations.
You have patience.
It's annoying. I
love it,
but it gives me the results that I'm looking for.
Right on.
So I feel like at the end of the day, we're Navy we're military. We're part of the military. We're Navy as a whole. Yes, there is a standard way of doing things. Yes, but people are still like, we're just not sailors. They are people first. There's a person first.
Yes.
And you have to talk and relate to the person before you can relate to the sailor.
Yes.
So that's just my philosophy of it, because like I said, me growing up in the Navy, I didn't have that type of leader. And when I said I wanted to be a leader, I was going to be that type. Whenever I got into that position, I was going to be that type of leader. Because I understand now, young girl coming out of Mississippi, they don't know shit about shit. But now I know better, so I have to do better. And I try to teach that back to my siblings back at home, my nieces and nephews, just because they're not going to learn that at home. I know how home is. They're not going to get it. So if I know better, like maybe I can do something or spark something in somebody back at home to like start to think differently. Think outside of Mississippi, because Mississippi is not the end all be all. But yeah, I definitely like to hear my sailor's point of view. Sometimes it's funny as fuck. It's some days like I'm just not as patient, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. We got shit we gotta do. I got a date tonight. I'm ready to go home. Like, you fucking complaining about some bullshit. You finna go do this shit, and I don't want to hear shit else about it. But they know when I'm in that mood, like, just don't say nothing else. Like, just go do it. She's just not having it today. But majority of the time, they know I'm chill as fuck. So
you know how to talk to your junior sailors.
I do.
That's
I know
what's
how to
up.
relate to them.
Good.
They're my little babies.
So would you say that you are a better leader than the ones you grew up under?
Most definitely. They fucking suck. They suck ass.
Look, after the story you just told me, yeah.
Like, seriously, they probably they're part of the reason why the military is in such high demand now. Because most people go to their first commands and the fucking chain of command is so trash, they get out thinking that this is all the Navy is. Yep. And that this is the worst of the worst. I'm not heard here. I'm not somebody here. And I want to get out. So they do their first command and then they get the fuck out.
Right.
And now we hurting. It's like, you got to make people, give them something to believe in, make them realize, like, the Navy is, well, for one, any job is a stepping stone. It's not something that you should dread having to come to and do. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for the time, we would be straight. Like, the fact that they want us up so goddamn early is really the problem. That is the problem. I don't know who is listening, but if we could change anything, we need to change working hours. Like, we could do 9 to 5 like all the rest of these regular people in the world. That is what duty section is for.
So there's no useful time for y'all coming in that early? There's no real reason for y'all to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning?
To me, no. Like, They be like, oh, you gotta have the muster report in by 9. Who said that? Like, who said it had to be by 9 o'clock? The same people that's gonna show up at 7 is gonna show up at 9. So we can do muster report by 11. Like, what are you talking about? 7 o'clock until 4 o'clock every day? Like, we don't have no time. By the time you fight Virginia traffic, you get home, you're exhausted, you ain't got no time for your family, you ain't got no time for your kids, you ain't got no time for yourself. You just literally become the Navy, and that's it. And you up, I'll get up at 4:45 or 4:30 every morning because I have to drive 37 minutes to the base. I have to get up. I have to get myself ready for the day. I have to eat here because right now we can't eat on the ship. So I have to eat at home, make sure at night I cook something to take to work the next day. By the time I get to work, the sun is not up yet. And by the time I'm going home, the sun is setting. That is ridiculous. And then they was like, oh, y'all get Saturday and Sunday. If you don't got duty. what the fuck? I was like, when do we get to be people? Ever.
Look, y'all, she just gave us a rundown of her average day. And I don't doubt any part of that. She says she eats here. Look, this is the cleanest kitchen. This is not
dirty dishes in the sink right now.
Look, all right, I overlooked that because the rest of the kitchen looks so nice. But everything she is organized. When she says she makes her meals, I believe there is meal prep. She looks like a very organized person and all put together. And also, she's a goddamn Barbie doll. She said she looks young. Is the reason for it. She actually does look very young. All right. That brings us to our next. That was actually a pretty good transition. Recruitment and retention is down across all the branches and with all the demographics. Black women are not excluded from that. This was true even before the pandemic. Why do you think Black women are so disinterested in joining the military?
Oh, God. Why would we be running to join the military? Like,
that's actually a good question. Yeah, why would we join this shit?
For one, I will say this: even outside the military, just Black women. America do not protect Black women at all.
Come on,
it's made to tear us down. It's made us look like monsters.
That's a word.
And what's crazy is though, all of these women want to be us.
Come on,
so bad.
A word.
But you don't respect us. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand. You have no idea how many times I've ran into women, men, all kinds of people. It's like, oh my God, you're so pretty, or you're so beautiful to be a Black woman, and who does your hair, who does your makeup, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I do all this shit myself. And then they're just like, it's all glory.
Yeah, of course.
But I was like, baby, if you walk one day in my shoes, like, get the fuck out of here. We're the most unheard, unrespected people.
Come on.
And if we want to say our opinions or we want to put our ideas and thoughts out there, we're combative, we're aggressive. Like, I'm just like, how do you idolize something you hate so much? It minds fuck me. Like, I don't understand it. And what's crazy is, unfortunately, and I love my Black kings, but them too. Like, it's insane to me. You guys come from Black women, but y'all disrespecting, y'all devalue Black women so badly.
The lack of protection.
It is, I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know, but that's probably why I'm 31 and single. Because I can't deal.
Because you have standards.
I'm very happy. Listen. Y'all don't know out there, I live very well.
Look, I'm in this kitchen right now.
I do not need a man to take care of me. Like,
she's single by choice, y'all.
I am definitely single by choice, and I'm not with the bullshit. I'm not with the fuckery.
She's a Barbie doll in a nice house. She is single by choice.
And I'm just not about to be.
Also, I saw that car.
Yeah.
Come on.
One of three. One of three.
Girl, get that. I'm done with you.
But I know my value. If nobody else don't know it, that's completely fine. But I know my value. I'm not gonna be your baby mama. I'm not gonna deal with it. So yeah, happily single. No, I am not looking. Nope, I'm not. Unless you're talking about something real serious and your mindset is on my level, it's not gonna happen.
Come on,
it's not gonna happen.
A word.
That's just how I feel about it. No, we're not running to get to the damn Navy. We're not even appreciated at home. I'm not finna run to the white man's army and fight for who? Y'all don't fight for me. Why am I fighting for you?
Right.
No. Right. I mean, I'm here now. I'm in it, but I'm trying to make the difference that I can while I'm in it.
Word.
But
come on.
Would I suggest it? That's a hard question.
Actually,
no.
That brings me to my next question. Hold on. If you had a daughter or any young impressionable black girl in your life that you cared about, and she was considering a life in the military, would you try to talk her out of joining, or would you let her join? And it sounds like you have some young black ladies in your life.
I do. I have a lot of young black women in my life, actually. Mm-hmm. And one of them, she did just join.
Okay.
And but she's doing really good.
What branch?
She's Navy. Yeah, she just graduated literally like 2-3 weeks ago. She just came home. I seen her for a little bit. Shout out to you, baby girl. You know who I'm talking to. So, would I encourage it or would I discourage it? That's a hard question for me because, like I said, my situation was different because I needed to get out of Mississippi to like open up my mind and my perspective, and it did just that. But that's not everybody's experience. And if you don't have the strong mind to deal with half the shit that I dealt with, the military can really break you. Mm-hmm. It can make you feel very insecure, very low for yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's what I don't want. It's already enough of that going on.
Right.
And I don't want that. But it just really depends on the type of person, I guess, that I'm dealing with. And it's because, like I said, anybody that comes in my life that I know like that and that I care for, I've already gauged their personalities and I know them. Say, for instance, my sister. Mm-hmm. I love my sister to death. But the military is not for her. Absolutely not. She's not waking up before noon. And she is more of I work, but it has to be a stay-at-home job. There is no getting up, getting ready for work, driving to work. She got 2 kids that she got to drop off. She's not doing it. She's not doing it. Half the time, she don't even want to take kids to school. She will, if somebody will volunteer to come pick them up and take them to school, then she's perfectly fine with that. So it just really depends on the type of person. She's an amazing mother. She's an amazing sister, amazing woman in general. She's loved by anybody who meets her.
Love it.
But she's not the traditional structural mom. Like, they don't have dinner time. They don't have all of that good stuff. She kind of like let their personalities blossom as is. The only time they do have is a bedtime because her patience is this thin. So the structural type of person, that is not her. That is not her. So no. And then I have a baby sister. Complete opposite of both of us. Now you think I'm a Barbie doll? She's a fucking Barbie doll. And she's not giving up her nails. She's not giving up her weave. She's not giving up her makeup. She's not doing that. She's complete, prissy, 24/7.
Right on.
She's not doing that. So it's not, but she don't mind structure. Like, she worked 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Get it.
So she high maintenance. And so
she needs those jobs.
She got
to maintain.
Right. So she's not military material either. 2 different personalities, but neither one of them military personalities. So it just really depends on the type of young lady I'm talking to, because then there's me. And, if I meet somebody that's like me, who, like I said, I always had this like mother mentality or whatever. And this
Mama J.
And this different, like, I just want to learn more of the world all the time. And I always want to just get myself into certain situations. So I'll see how I handle it differently and stuff like that. Not like confrontation, but just different scenarios and shit like that. Like, I'm not afraid to take on a new project at work. Right like on. They know they can throw me anywhere, and again, I'm resilient. I'm gonna fucking thrive. And if I can't figure it out, I'm gonna find somebody who knows so they can teach me how to figure it out. I don't mind. Hey, I don't know, so teach me. Like, they be like, oh, you just got. Don't give me the answers either. Like, show me so I know, so I can pass it on to whoever is coming after me or whatever. But you gotta have that type of mentality, that type of personality, if you're gonna be successful as a black woman in the military. The only thing I gotta work on is just not taking shit offensively. And I just take everything offensively. Because don't tell me I can't do shit. 'Cause I can do it. You just ain't teaching me right. Like, but I know I can do it. They like, you gotta stop that. But
would you say that this was developed over time? Like, looking back at your 17-year-old self, would you say that she was military material?
No.
See?
Look, Not that. Only because, like I said, I was a mama's girl. But I didn't realize how much I was a mama's girl until they took my mom away from military. Took my mom away from me because, like I said, that was just like other family issues. But like I said, me and my mom has always been together, always been close. She's tattooed on my body. Like she's me, I am her. And so there's like, even when I was a young toddler, like she was like, you don't let nobody hold you, not even your daddy. Like only me. She was like, you had an attitude, people like touching you pinch back, you like, you don't touch me, don't look at me unless you my mom. And so she was like, she's just always been up under me. So, but I've always wanted my own independence. And so, like I said, I was excited about leaving, and then they was like, hey, where do you want to go? And I was like, the first place from Mississippi that I can go. It was like, well, we can send you overseas to Japan. I was like, bet, I want to go. And then I was excited, like, oh my God, I'm getting away from mom. I get to like be an adult. I get to do this. And I was just thinking of all this. I'm thinking I'm gonna get me an apartment and a car in fucking Japan. You just talking. But it wasn't until I was there, I was just like, fuck.
And then cried the first couple months.
What did I do? Like, and then like I'm like, when I'm really, really sad in the middle of the day, it's like 4:00 in the fucking morning for her. So I can't just call her and talk about it. Then I don't have a American number. You have to use like an app, and it don't always work. Yep. I was just like, it was so hard. It was so hard for me. At that point in time, no, I don't think I was ready for my independence. Because like I literally was going through like a mental like thing. Like I was literally doing everything I could on that ship to get off. I was telling them I was crazy. I was seeing a psychologist, and I only had been in the Navy for like 5 months, and I was already seeing a psychologist. They had already put me on like Ambien and shit because I was sleep. Like I couldn't sleep for days. They put me on Ambien. They put me on Trazodone. Like I was really going through it.
Wow.
But I threw myself in that fire. Now I could have either went one or two directions. Gladly, I went the positive direction.
Right.
And I just grew the fuck up. I was like, hey, you here? Ain't nothing we can do about it. They ain't gonna change it. You gonna be here for at least 3 years. Get your shit together because you ain't going home. So, yeah. I think I should have been better prepared. That's on my mama. She should have better prepared me.
You were 17.
Like, she should have better prepared me for that shit. Because I was not ready.
That kind of answers this next question, which is, let's say you were just starting your life out on your own, and you were presented with the chance to join the service for the first time. Knowing what you know now, would you join?
No.
God damn.
That was an easy no. I'll take my ass to school.
That was so quick. It was immediate.
I'll take my ass to school. And if I was to join, it would definitely be officer. It definitely wouldn't be enlisted.
Right.
But I would definitely go to school, get my degree, and then see where that takes me first. And if that career doesn't start off and rocket off like I wanted to, I would probably join, but it would definitely be as an officer. Not as enlisted. Enlisted really is just, it's trash as fuck. So anybody watching this or listening to this that thinks that they may want to join, I'm telling you, do not do enlisted. They don't pay you enough to go through the shit that you go through.
You're right.
I don't care if you khaki, senior chief, master chief, don't go enlisted. Get your degree first, then join as an officer. That's the only thing that makes your military career worth anything.
Facts.
Just telling you.
The pay is better.
Pay is better. Hours better. I don't even see my officer until lunchtime. Maybe after lunchtime. He comes when he wants to. He don't got to answer nobody. And he leaves when he wants to.
What a life.
It's annoying. And he makes like 3 times as much as I do. And I was like, and I'm working I'm here before the fucking sun comes up. Mm-hmm. And you come strolling in here because little Timmy stumped his toe this morning. And so you had to stay behind. Like,
you get to tend to your family when you're an officer.
I would say, I know people with kids with flu, and they be like, look, bring them to the ship.
Wow.
No, I'm just
fucking
playing.
wow.
I'm just playing. But no, seriously, like, they were like, okay, well, you can take him to the doctor or the hospital, but bring us the doctor's note, and then whenever he is good to go or whatever, you get a babysitter or whatever, your significant other come home, you need to still come to work.
So many checks.
The fuck? Like, I just told you my child is sick with the flu. I don't think you heard me. No, right. we heard you. We still need you to come in though.
We heard you. We just don't care.
I can't.
Well, at least now you're on the path to being an officer. So
yes, for sure. Because there was no way y'all getting me for another 10 years of doing this shit. There's no way. No way.
Heard that. Come on, degrees, certificates, qualifications.
Right.
I see you. In the beginning of your career, when you needed guidance and mentorship, were those resources provided for you, or did you have to seek them out?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So the official like guidance and stuff like that, like military, that the military offers, no, I didn't have that information. However, I did have a great mentor, two great mentors that I met when I was in Japan, and both of them are a credit to my success now.
Right on.
And the path that I did decide to choose. One more so for my personal growth, and one for my professional. So I met this, I think she was a third class at the time. I was an airman fresh on board. She was a third class. She's now an officer.
Right on.
She's from Georgia. She's from Georgia. And
a Southern girl, come on.
She was. And obviously I'm young, I'm impressionable on the ship. I already want to be there or whatever. But when I did get out of my funk and I started like meeting friends and stuff, like the guys, there are some predators in the military. And I'm telling y'all, like, it is, just because they're wearing a uniform, don't make them good people.
Not at all.
And so, me being young, I think I had just turned 18. Drinking age over there is 19. So I still wasn't old enough to drink, but they were definitely getting me drunk over there. And the guys was definitely trying to shoot their shot. And I'm not saying I'm a wholesome girl or anything like that, but I wasn't having sex like that back then. I did have sex.
Yeah, you were fresh out of Mississippi.
Yeah, I did have sex on
a little
my
country
prom
girl
night.
from the middle of nowhere.
Right. I had
you were
sex
wholesome
on
enough.
my senior prom night for the first time. And I told my mom about this, so she heard, she already knew. So by the time I got to Japan, I didn't know nothing about nothing. And all these guys are giving me alcohol, and they giving me all this attention and all this other stuff. And they had a little rank on them or whatever. So I'm just trying to fit in at this point. Like, I'm just trying to, like, make friends. Yeah. I want to be a part of the crowd. I want to be in the popular crowd or whatever. I was impressionable as fuck. So
once again, very young. Yeah.
Right. It took this, at the time, like I said, she was a third class, but she was a little bit more beyond her years at the time. And I think I was, 18. She was like 24. Okay. She had been there a while, so she pulled me to the side and she took me on her wing. Very respected on the ship. She was only a third class, but she was one of those third classes that they always kept her in the leadership role. They always knew she was going to be great. She was very good at her job. Me and her we were both ABFs. And when she came to me, I was literally like thrilled and honored that she wanted me as her little protege.
Yeah.
And so she taught me a lot. And because of that, like I said, I'm always ready to learn, blah, blah, blah. I got really good at my job, like super good. Everything started making sense. She understood my language, me and her both being from the South or whatever. She understood how to teach me, how it was going to connect to me, how it was going to relate to me. Because people just giving me numbers and data, that shit don't stick. Oh, this pump does this, and this. It operates at this RPM. This is it. This is another pump, and it operates at this RPM, and this over here. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Right.
Like,
explain
you're
it.
telling me information, but I'm telling you now, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm a hands-on operation type of person. And so the way she was breaking it down to me and explaining it to me, I was like, man, this shit easy as fuck. Like, where you been all my life? So... And then she taught me the way of, like, the guys on the boat, because she was another attractive young woman on the boat. So she went through the same thing I was going through at the time. And so I only hung out with her. Well, I started hanging out with her and her group of friends, and it literally kept me from going a different direction. Because, like I said, at the time, all the guys was giving me attention. I was out every weekend with the guys and, some of the girls that were known for certain things on the boat and stuff like that. But at the time, I didn't know. So when she saw me getting with the wrong crowd, she pulled me out of it. And then she put me with her and her crowd. And we all still had a great time. But I think if she didn't step in when she stepped in, me being so young, me being so impressionable, my reputation would have went a different way. Okay. So she pulled me out of that. Now, then I made rank. I got my pins. I became a very respected operator. Right on. And so for that... I always will appreciate her. She knows who I'm talking about.
Is this a sister?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Come on. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And
come on, Georgia. All right.
I created a lot of my personal growth out there to her. But then I had a black male mentor as well. Okay. And he was first class. And I was only, at that time, I was only in third class. And he was like, look, the Navy is all politics. He was like, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Because I was a great operator, but I still was getting my evaluation. These white guys were still getting evaluations higher than me. And I couldn't understand why. Because I know I did my job better than they did. I knew more about the job better than they did. But however come, I'm still not getting my just due over these guys. And that shit was pissing me off. And I was like, at this point, I know there's nothing I can do about it. I'm black. I'm a woman. I'm in a male-dominant rate. There ain't nothing I can do about it. And I met him. And he's like, girl, there's so much you can do about it. He's like, I'm going to put you on and show you exactly how to fuck the Navy. So where they ain't got no choice but to give you your fucking flowers. Like, they will literally have to justify why they can't give you something. When I say he was throwing claws after me, he's like, I'm going to get you this claw, this claw, this claw, this claw. But this was outside of my rate, because I was only thinking in my rate. I just need to know my job. He was like, nah. He's like, you got to expand your mind.
This brother was looking out. We love to see it.
You about to get this for the command. You about to get this for the ship. You need to join this group. You need to be the vice president or the president of this group. You need to get your pens. You need to come work in the soup. You need to get into this 3M. 3M is the biggest thing. I was just like, the fuck? I was like, I'm only in third class. Like, 3M is for E5 and above. He's like, you gonna get this call, and you gonna do this, and you gonna do this. And as a third class, you gonna be in that position. He's like, at that point, all the motherfuckers downstairs is turning fucking valves. They ain't gonna have shit on you. You up here, you running that. And I'm just like, all right, bet. So literally, he sat me down. He taught me how to do it, what I needed to do. And just like that, I became like, I kept being like number 2 MP, number 1 MP. I became number 2, number 1 EP. Like, I was the first junior sailor in my division to get both my pens, being dual qualified. Like, literally amazing. And he has literally always been there. Even now, he's retired now. But still,
right on. In
my career, in my ear, what you doing next? What's the next thing? So, he knows who he is, too. Shout out to you, TJ.
Shouts out to TJ. TJ, I love it.
Even now.
Enjoy retirement, sir.
Yes.
Have you been able to make friends with other Black Lady veterans? And are you purposeful about building your village?
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, actually, my one of my great friends, Melissa, she is getting ready to retire this year. And we just been linking up a lot lately, because I don't know what her plan is, if she's going to stay in Norfolk after she retires or not. But, she just also had a birthday. Nice. And her birthday thing was all her friends, who majority of us are military. She was like, I just want to have us, it was a nude, black, not nude, like no clothes, like nude colors. Nude color, like black theme party. She did candles, like we all had to have like poof balls or some kind of Afrocentric hairstyle. And
nice.
Then we all had to like wear a different shade of brown or whatever.
Yeah.
And we just celebrated in our blackness, in our womanness, and our strength. It was so amazing. So
this sounds lovely.
It was like, look, let me tell you, it was a vibe, y'all.
Nice.
My hair caught on fire at the party. That was the highlight of the night. But it was a good time. We was drunk. She had candles everywhere, bro. She had candles everywhere. My ass leaning trying to fucking get some ice, and my hair caught on fire.
Oh shit.
So it's all good. We had good. We put it out. I stopped, dropped, and rolled. We was good. And the wig still was intact.
Jay.
Everything was good.
That's the important part.
That was like, I was just like, it's half of it gone. She was like, girl, can't even tell. That was cool. We good. And that was right. It's black women. Everybody had wig glue. They had spray. They was ready to go. So they got me back right, and we was back in the night. We was having a good time. But
no, I love that this story was.
It was a great night, man. It was a really good night.
You just described a really good night, and your hair catching on fire. Yes. I love it.
So her retirement is coming up, and we're all like super excited to get together again and be in the same room. We have like a little group chat and shit like that. Like, I just announced to them that I got promoted, so we're gonna go celebrate that shit.
Hell yeah.
And then we got her retirement coming up. Then we got another one. She just graduated and getting her degree. So
come on, sisters with degrees.
Yeah.
Love it.
For sure. We out here with a purpose, and I love that. I love that for us.
Same.
Can't wait to see you, Melissa.
Is Melissa the one that's retiring?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, shouts out to Melissa. Thank you for your service. Tell me a war story. A story where you were tested but came out on top.
Unfortunately, this was a story with another black man, and I hate that too because we knew each other back in my first command. He was one of my friends back in Japan or whatever, and we ended up getting back on the same command recently.
Okay.
So we knew each other back in Japan, and now we're on the same ship now. And so when I heard that he was coming, I was thrilled. I was like, oh yeah, I get to see him again, catch up, blah, blah, blah. And that's just what it was in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Old friends catching up.
That's what's
now,
up.
At the time, I was a second class, and he's a chief. So we still had to keep that professional boundary. But I knew him back when. I knew him when he was a second class, and I was a third, and all the other stuff. So
yeah, we
had prior history or whatever. So I was excited that I was going to be working with him again. And I don't know, like life, I guess, changes people, experiences changes people, whatever. So they're not still the same person that you knew back then or whatever. Me, I'm pretty consistent.
Right.
I mean, I grow mentally and I grow, spiritually and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm still the same person. My personalities don't switch up. So, I don't know, like, I guess because of my hope that, hey, this is somebody I know I got a past relationship with, I thought things were going to be different. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, he is just not that person anymore. Mm. But I didn't know that.
Right. So
we started bumping heads really, really bad. Like, so bad that, like, I'm concerned that at this point I might lose the chevrons that I got because we was going at it. And I have to respect him as my superior officer, but fuck that. Like, fuck all of that. Because a lot of situations, he was just completely fucking out of line. And like I said, I don't care what your rank is. You out of line with me, I'm gonna fucking tell you.
Right on.
So we got into it a lot. And he already made a COVID deployment more stressful for me. Mm-hmm. So when we got back from deployment or whatever, like I said, I was gonna stick it out for my for my sailors, not my kids, for my sailors until then, because I didn't want to stick them with somebody else that didn't know, somebody else that they couldn't work with or whatever. So I stuck out deployment for them and I stayed in my position for them. But as soon as we came back and I didn't have to be there, I sat my shit down and I was like, look, this motherfucker is making things hard for me. When I say it was situation after situation after situation after situation, I said, my chief, I'm gonna get in trouble if I have to keep working for him. And I said, instead of me allowing that to happen and keeping my fucking mouth closed, because I know this is what they want me to do, I'm coming to you now and I'm asking you to put me in a different position because it's not going to be good. And she was just like, I think you and him just need to have a conversation. And I'm just like, okay. So that's what we did. We had a conversation and he apologized. Shocked me, but he did.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, maybe, I might be all right, my chief. We good. We had a conversation. He apologized. I'm going to fall back. I'm going to stay where I'm at. That shit lasted like 3 days. And we was back at it again. I said, my chief, no, move me. She was like, what happened? I told her what happened. She was just like, oh, let me just talk to my chief. Move me. I'm telling y'all now, move me. Because if, like, I'm going to put my hands on him or I'm going to have somebody put their hands on him. So, move me. And so she did. She moved me, but she was like, most people aren't brave enough. They sit in discomfort and they don't say anything because this is somebody superior to them. They write their evals, they do this, and this, and they just sit there and they take it. Or they allow them to like treat them a certain type of way and they just keep their mouths closed because they want a good eval. Or they do everything that they know they don't want to do because it's gonna be appeasing to that person.
Right.
No, I'm just not that person. And so, thankfully, my master chief, me and her got the same type of personality. So when I came to her with the situation, she did. She moved me, and now I work directly for master chief. I'm answering to nobody but master chief. If she ain't said it, I don't want to hear it.
Right on.
And so, and then now that person has to go through me to get the master chief. So like when chief want a meeting, you talk to ABF 2 yet? Well, ABF 1 now, you talk to her? Because she ain't tell me nothing about we had a meeting. I was like, well, I said, master chief, he ain't come to me about no damn meeting. She was like, well, schedule her next week. She'll let you know if I got some free time. And I'll squeeze you in. And so, but she applauded me for being brave enough to say something. She was like, because most women sit in that male dominant role, and they don't say anything. They just take it. They just take it. They just take it. And then she was just like, I could tell. She's like, you a fighter. She's like, you just not gonna let nobody do you no type of way, because she just checked on board. So she been here a little minute now. But at the time, she was just freshly on board. And like I said, thankfully, she was just one of them women who get me. Her personality and my personality are just identical.
Right on.
And so she was just like, I applaud you for not, she was like, for one, I applaud you for not reacting first. And then we got a whole other situation. She said, but you come to me and you told me straight up how it was. And she was like, you even try to give another chance. And she was like, but when you know something don't work for you, you know something don't work for you. She was like, most people won't say shit and they just take it, especially women.
Right.
So she was like, I applaud you for like saying something, not taking no for an answer. She was like, getting yourself out of that situation, because I'm not the only one who sees it. He has a problem for real. Right. Something wrong with that man. And it's crazy because like he was not like this. I don't know what happened in his life, but he need to go see counseling or something. I don't know. He should talk to somebody, because nobody should be that damn unhappy. Like,
that they're making other people unhappy as well.
Yes. It's like, don't bring that shit here. I don't know what you got going on at home. I don't know if it's wifey, because he's one of those ones who married like a Japanese national and shit while he was over there. I don't know what that situation is, but...
But don't bring it here.
Don't bring this shit here. Like, we happy over here. Right. We harmonious. We all have a good time. If you don't want to do that, just stay in your office, close the door. You just don't interact with people.
Right on.
Because you are not a people's person.
You bring down the vibe.
And I'm not that type of person. And don't put me in the room with that type of person. So I ain't gonna filter.
No, I feel you.
But just being brave enough to get yourself out of uncomfortable situations is...
That's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
That's a win. I love it. The Master Chief.
Yeah.
She a sister?
Well, she's Dominican.
Okay. Hey.
So, yeah.
Look, help comes from everybody.
Yeah.
People are allies,
Yes.
No matter what.
She's amazing.
That's what's up. Do you feel that the way you have been treated has improved with rank?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely get more respect as you go up. Yes. And I think only because I'm a woman, they respect me more because I have rank. But I know there's men in there who is like junior sailors, airmen, third class or whatever, but because they're men and they're skilled in the type of job that we have, they respect their opinions off rip. As if opposed to a younger woman that's an airman or a third class who may know their job as well or know that skill, but they oftentimes assume that because she's a woman, she does not know. And she don't get heard or she don't get respected. Her opinion doesn't get respected as much. Because I'm in like a, what do you call it? Like we work with pumps and tools and shit like that.
You sound like a mechanic a little bit.
Well, there is a lot of mechanic work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Engineer type work.
Well, yeah, engineering type of work. Because I work in a pump room. Well, now I'm...
You're about to completely switch lives. You're going from a mechanic-based career to nursing. Mm-hmm. Lady, you are doing it.
I didn't want to be in that shit. I got tricked to be in that shit. So, but I mean, hell, I was there. I was going to make the best of it. Resilient. Hey, okay.
Look, and you made rank in this career field.
So, I don't know shit. I didn't know shit about mechanics until I got into that shit. I ain't never picked up a wrench before in my life. But now...
You're a first class in that shit now.
Yeah, now, look, don't try me. All right? I'll fix this whole goddamn house up. Yeah, it's just... Oftentimes, they don't see women as knowing anything in this rate. But some women love to do shit like this. And they look like me. Yeah. And they love to do shit like that. So, I'm not one of them. I had to learn to love it. But they love it. But they don't get that respect. But then there's, a white guy who's the son of a mechanic. And his grandfather owned 2 car dealerships. Like, some shit like that. And so, they just come in. And me as the first class. And I'm telling them something. And it was like... Well, what do you think, Airman such and such?
Wow.
I was like,
fucking
I don't
wow.
give a fuck what he thinks. I ain't gonna ask him that. I don't give a fuck what he thinks. Like, it's just that type of situation. Just because, like I said, it is a male dominant environment. So I'll be like, it's a struggle. I really feel bad for my little junior girls, but they be holding their own.
Right on.
What I'm saying?
They learn from Mama
They got
J.
a good leader though.
That's what I'm talking about.
Everybody get equal voices if you work for me.
That's
everybody.
What I'm talking about.
So, and most of the time, the women is right. I'm just saying. You know.
Gotta listen to women. You got it. All right, so you do know that the way that you've been treated has improved with rank. We've got that. Do you feel this improvement would have happened sooner had you been a different race and or gender?
Hell yeah. If I was a white man, I would be Mick Pond by now.
With your knowledge base? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I've been Mick Pond if I was a white man.
My God. Because you did have a lot of qualifications and certifications as just a third. And now you're a first with all that plus rank, plus time in service. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. Has there ever been a tough situation that you were in where another sister helped you out? Or a situation where you helped another sister out?
Yeah, the JAG was a sister. They
what?
got me off the ship. Yeah, she.
Why would you leave that out?
No, my victim's advocate was a white girl. But the JAG, the one that got me off the ship in
the
10
one
days,
that told you all those options that you had.
She was a sister.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yo.
And she went after their heads after I was off the ship. She was like, I ain't gonna do that now because you still here. You still gotta come to work. She said, as soon as you gone, I'm getting that ass.
I'm gonna fuck them up.
I'm getting that ass. She did. She really did.
Oh, I love to see it.
Yeah, I love to see that shit.
I love it.
I love it.
Come on.
And then, of course, I'm always helping out the sisters, especially them young, impressionable black girls that check on board. Like I said, I've been in that situation. So I see them go left a lot. So
it's easy to, right?
Right. So I'm always putting them to side. Like I said, they call me Mama J. It's like, you always in my business, but they love me. Every problem they have, oh my God, sometimes I can't even do my job. Like, April 1, can you talk? Something happened this weekend. I'm like, oh my God, what? Especially relationships.
Look, they know that they can come to you.
They love coming to me for their relationship advice or whatever. And I was like, I don't understand why, because I'm so single. But they know me. I'm gonna give them the real. And hey, some most of the time it should be working.
Good, Jay. Good. You've created an environment where these young ladies.
My girls ain't gonna be hoes. At the end of the day, they not gonna be hoes. They not gonna have no reputation for being a hoe. They gonna be respected the same way. The one before, the girl from Georgia, how she helped me. She's like, you ain't finna be no hoe. You about to learn your job. You about to be doing this, and this. And that's what she gave me. I took that and I have literally carried it on, because you're absolutely right. Especially being a black woman, we're not gonna be hoes. We're not gonna do that.
I love it.
You don't need to do that to get ahead.
Thank you.
Just know your goddamn job, learn your job, and be great at that shit.
Amen.
So I definitely, we ain't doing that.
I love it. Tell me something you wish you had known before joining the service.
Like I said, predators can be anybody.
Yeah.
I wish I would have saw that one coming, because there's so many, like, you feel safe and you feel protected with these men that you work with.
False sense of security.
Right. Especially they got rank. You think they're there to protect you. Mm-hmm. They don't see you that way. They see you as, little sister or young. Nah. They see you just like any other predator sees you. Mm-hmm. And they feed on that. They feed that they know that you feel safe with them because of who they are to you. Mm-hmm. And they definitely put you in compromising positions. So I wish I wouldn't have been so naive with that fact when I first joined, because that first 6 months I was there was hell. The first 3 months, I'm ready to go home. 3 months after that, I just wanted to be a part of the team, the crowd, blah, blah, blah. And I made a lot of mistakes, did a lot of dumb shit. So, yeah, those men are not, they not always got your best interest at heart.
You're right. I'm sorry, you've already answered this one, but the question is, do you feel that you are a better leader than the ones you grew under?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you answered
yes.
yes. Okay, Jay. Are there any sisters in service that inspire you?
Yeah, my master chief before this current master chief, they know each other too, but she was a black lady.
Nice.
It's my world. She's more the religious type though, so she kept me rooted in. No, seriously, she kept me rooted in the word, because me growing up in Mississippi, we went to church.
Every Sunday.
No, not even every Wednesday, Sunday, Bible study, Bible school, vacation, everything. We was in church, and our church was literally 200 yards up the road. So we walked to church. Every time the church doors was open, I was in there. We was in there front row, ready to learn, blah, blah, blah. So first thing I do when I moved to a different city, the first thing I did when I went to Japan, especially because I had a disconnect from my family, was I always For one, I find the best restaurants. But then, second thing I do is I find me a church. I don't care how many churches I gotta go to. I will go to different ones every Sunday until I find somewhere where I'm comfortable.
Right.
And I feel home.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And that's what I do that every night. Even here, I got a church home here. I had one in Jacksonville. I had one before here when I came the first time. Had a church home in Japan. Believe it or not, they got a Baptist church in Japan where it's majority black people.
Right on.
So my Master Chief, though, the one before the one I got now.
Yes.
When you go on deployment, that shit is hard. Like being out there and being separated, especially during COVID. But my Master Chief, she was, I guess you could say our pastor. She was our preacher. So every Sunday she did. She do her word. Like we had our work relationship, but then we had our spiritual relationship was complete, in which she knew and we both understood was completely different. Mm-hmm. She knew how to separate being my leader in spirit and being my leader at work. So when we were together at church or we was in Bible study or whatever, I wasn't ABF2 or my junior sailor. I was sister, whatever. And so she allowed everybody to have a voice, but she definitely kept me rooted. She know my mom. She let her know like she good, she covered. She made sure I was at Bible study every Wednesday on the ship. We was at church. I sing in the choir. I sing in every choir every time.
You're a singer?
I can keep a note. But
if you go to karaoke, you're not gonna embarrass yourself?
Nah, for sure. Y'all gonna be vibing. Everybody gonna be vibing with it. But I joined the choir every ship I go to. I joined the gospel choir or whatever. And she just made sure she kept me on that track. Because it's so hard to get so distracted. And it's hard to stay encouraged on there. Because after working all day, you tired, you just want to go home. I mean, well, not go home. Go to your rack and go to sleep. Or just have you some me time. She was like, God gonna get his time. I don't care if you late for work. You gonna give him his time first. And then you gonna go to the Navy and do whatever you want to do, blah, blah, blah. So even if she had to come get me out the berthing,
Lord,
she has to pass my berthing to go to the chapel. She'll knock on the door, get you ready. I was like, Master, I'm literally in the bathroom, put my hair in the bathroom. She was like, all right, we start in 10 minutes. I'm gonna be there, I promise you. So
a leader.
She was, but I appreciate her for that because it's definitely kept me rooted in like how I was brought up and the things that means the most to me, the things I value the most, which is definitely God is number one. So
all right,
yeah, I appreciate her for that because honestly, if I didn't have somebody on my ass, I probably I would have went, but like I would not been as faithful as I was.
You would have slept in on Sunday morning.
I would have done some Sundays, took some Sundays off. She wouldn't have it.
Like, no, I'm going to show up for Easter.
Yeah, exactly. Because, a lot of black people only come to church once a year.
Yeah. Easter, Mother's Day, Christmas. Yeah, CME. Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter.
That's it. That's all you're going to get.
All right, Jay. Tell me, if you were conducting this interview from where I'm sitting, what would you have asked you that I didn't ask you? What did I miss? What did I forget to cover?
Honestly... Well, not from my perspective, but just because I know so many women, especially black women in the military, that relationship and from back home, especially for either you're in the service and your partner's not, or vice versa. That is a hard thing to deal with. And all the infidelity that goes on, the failed marriages, failed relationship, you have kids in it. Like, that's a big deal in the military right now. Especially me being on 4 ships. I've seen it. And, like, these guys, like, they're not bad guys. Like, they're good guys. It's just, they gone for 10 months plus or whatever. And it's hard for them. And then these young girls are just throwing themselves at them or some shit like that. Or vice versa, the young guys going on, it's all the same. I think, like I said, it's due to that, again, that protection of black women. You know what I'm saying? Her significant other making her feel secure or have that feeling of having somebody faithful and honest or whatever. That is a big, big issue to me in the military that a lot of people just don't talk about. That's, again, another reason why I'm single, because I don't trust none of y'all. I don't trust none of y'all. Like, it's just not, no. I don't want to date in the military. Date civilians.
Okay.
So, because, no.
As a civilian, a new civilian, We ain't shit neither.
Right, y'all be waiting on the wife and husband to go, baby, where you going deployment again? Just text message, yeah, she leaving in August. She won't be back until about April, May next year. So
Lord.
we got all this time.
Lord. Yeah, civilians trashed it. No. All right, Mama J. Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything you would like to leave our audience with?
Always be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself, especially for you Black women. Like, it's okay that they don't understand this. They don't have to. They don't got to get it. But you're not going to be happy unless you're being your authentic self. Don't change. Don't try to appease other people. Be you. Be beautiful. Be loving. Be a goddess. Be all of that. Be loud, because they trying to silence us. They're trying to shut us down. Be loud as you want to be. Be confident. That's just really it.
I love it. I love it. That's a word.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you so much
for
inviting me into your beautiful home with the beautiful car out front. Thank you for getting dressed for this interview. Y'all, she is gorgeous right now, and I came in my regular people clothes.
This is my house gown with my fuzzies on.
Girl, get the hell out. You just walk around the house looking like this?
This is my little house gown.
I'm so mad right now.
It's just a little sundress. It's hot in Virginia.
I'm big mad now, because she looks like this, and this is just her house clothes, and I came looking like a regular human being. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, because now I'm intimidated.
No. This ain't nothing but love in the open space over here.
It was lovely talking to you. Thank you for inviting me in your home. Thank you for sitting down with me. And for all of our service members out there and listeners and audience, I guess this is bye now. And that concludes this episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. And a special thank you to ABF1J for sharing her story and taking the time to make this interview possible. Now, if you are or know a Black Lady veteran who would like to sit down with me and be a part of the show, please email me at seasonedvetpodcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text message me at 713-254-0970. You can also find, follow, and inbox me, the Seasoned Vet, across all platforms of social media. That's at Real Seasoned Vet on Twitter, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on Instagram, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on TikTok, at Seasoned Vet on YouTube, Seasoned Vet on Facebook. Y'all, I'm so out there, I'm even on Spoutable. That's at the Seasoned Vet on Spoutable. Now, if you like what you heard, please like it, share it, rate it, and leave a good review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. And if you're hearing this episode on the day that it drops, then you're listening to it on the 75th anniversary of Alice Coachman becoming the first Black woman to win an Olympic gold medal. In 1948, Alice Coachman set an American record in the event of high jumping by clearing a height of 5 feet 6 1/8 inches. As a well-rounded athlete, Coachman was also a star sprinter in the events of the 50-meter dash, the 100-meter dash, and the 4x1 relay team. A combination of these events is why she was able to retire from track and field in 1948 with a total of 25 national titles. After retiring from track and field, Coachman went on to teach elementary and high school. She passed away in 2014 at the age of 90. Thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, ball out.